Hey, I'm in the Tampa airport because the football gods and the weather gods and the travel gods all conspired against me this weekend. So I've got 3 flights today, and I'm on a short layover because I had delays. So yeah, I feel great. And especially after watching last night, look, the Texans got beat by a much better football team than they are right now. The thing that was most uh, disturbing to me, I think, was a couple things. One, the sloppiness offensively and how it affected CJ Stroud. Long-term, CJ is going to be awesome. It's the offensive line that we've just spent year after year wringing our hands over. And when you saw last night with all those pre-snap penalties in the first half, they peed down their legs. They were wearing plaid pants from the nurse's office by midway through the first quarter, and I think it affected CJ to the point where he looked way more hurried up than he has in a long time. And, you know, at times I think left the pocket when he didn't have to leave the pocket. I think threw off platform when he didn't need to throw off platform, and understandably so. It's just he's been so freakishly composed before that it was kind of a shock to see him look a little bit more like a rookie. But hats off to that defense. I mean, that's a hornet's nest. That Ravens defense did a really good job of disguising their defensive linemen. Like I've always been impressed, they're not lazy. They're big dudes that change their alignment before the snap, screwing up the offensive linemen, messing up responsibilities. The pass protection's got to get better all around. That includes the running back on blitz pickup. Ravens were just awesome at that. As far as the strategy of DeMeco Ryans, he blitzed 75% of the time. That's way, way, way above what they usually do. And it was effective for a little bit, but I think DeMeco knew it was going to be what the stat heads would call high variance. It was either going to be boom or blowout, and it obviously ended up being blowout. For him to do that, it was going to have to be alongside of some sustained drives by the offense so the Ravens didn't get too good a look at it. I credit Lamar Jackson and Todd Monken and the offensive line for picking up those blitzes in the second half. They started getting rid of the ball a lot quicker. It was a second faster time to throw by the Ravens in the second half. So Lamar was recognizing blitz, getting rid of the football. They weren't trying to take deep shots. And the Texans they weren't getting a pass rush nor matching up well enough, on the back end. And you get what we had there last evening. I think that when you look at the Ravens and the way they operate defensively, that's obviously where anybody would want to get to, but I think that especially with their ability to disguise, and then because the hard thing is anybody can disguise, it's a matter of playing your responsibilities after you disguise, after you use that deception. When you're having to bail out and still then redirect and come up, that's just, the Texans just aren't there yet. They don't have the football IQ. I think now that a lot of these guys have seen what's expected of them with an entire offseason, you're going to see a more polished effort at it this next year. And then as far as Lamar Jackson's just awesome. So I don't know who's going to defend against Lamar Jackson with the way they're playing right now. When it comes to next year and facing mobile quarterbacks, it's something the Texans didn't have to do a lot of this year outside of Lamar Jackson. And then Kyler Murray wasn't himself. That was his second game back. He was new to that offense, and as was Lamar in week 1. So this may have been the only real test the Texans have had versus genuine dual threat, scary athletic running back quarterbacks, unless I'm missing somebody. Quarterbacks who are faster than running backs. He's just a freak. So I don't know about bottling up Lamar Jackson specifically, but DeMeco's defenses did struggle versus dual threat quarterbacks last year. So it's a consideration. I mean, there's times where if you're rushing 4, there's going to be gaps in places for Lamar to run. That's when enabling the spy and using a spy effectively, which you can't do every single snap, but doing it perhaps more than they did last night. But hats off to the Ravens. All right, I've got a flight in 7 minutes. I'm going to Chicago first before I go to my ultimate destination. So everybody have a great one.